Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Givaradhari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Thy Gaur Premanande जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत्य दिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled duties, all glories to the assembled duties, all glories to the assembled duties, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki. Hare Krishna. So we are going to read from Canto 10, Chapter 52, Text 7, the verses that's on the board, and 8 and 9. Vilokya vega rabhasham Vilokya vega rabhasham Ripu sainyasya madhava Ripu sainyasya madhava Manushya cheshtam apanam Manushya cheshtam apanam Rajan drudruvratu drutam Rajan dudruvatu drutam Vilokya vega rabhasham Ripu sainyasya madhava Manushya cheshtam apanam Rajan dudruvatu drutam. Hare Krishna. Please go ahead. Vilokya vega rabhasham Ripu sainyasya madhava Manushya cheshtam apanam Rajan dudruvatu drutam. Vilokya vega rabhasham Ripu sainyasya madhava Manushya cheshtam apanam Rajan dudruvatu drutam. Vilokya vega rabhasham Ripu sainyasya madhav Manushya cheshtam apanav Rajan dudruvatu drutam. Anybody else would like to read? Okay. Vilokya, seeing, vega of the waves, rabhasham, the fierceness, ripu, enemy, Sainyasya of the armies, Madhav, the two Madhavas, Krishna and Balrama, Manushya, human-like, Cheshtam, behavior, Apanav, assuming, Rajan, O King Parikshit, Dudruvatu, ran away, Dhrutam, quickly. Translation. O King, seeing the fierce waves of the enemy's army, the two Madhavas, imitating human behavior, ran swiftly away. Please kindly repeat. O King, seeing the fierce waves of the enemy's army, seeing the fierce waves of the enemy's army, the two Madhavas, imitating human behavior, ran swiftly away. Text 8. Vihaya vitam prachuram abhithau virubhitavat padabhyam padmapalapsabhyam chelatur bahuyojanam. Vihaya, abandoning. Vitam, the riches. Prachuram, abundant. Abhitau, actually unafraid. Bhiru, like cowards. Bhitavat, as if frightened. Padabhyam, with their feet. Padma, of lotuses. Palasabhyam, like petals. Chelatu, they went. Bahu yojanam, for many yojanas. One yojana is slightly more than 80 miles. Abandoning the abundant riches, fearless but feeling fear, they went many yojanas on their lotus-like feet. Palayamanu tau drishto magadha prahasham vali. Anavadat ratanker ishayor apramana vit. When he saw them fleeing, powerful Jasanta laughed loudly and then pursued them with charioteers and foot soldiers. He could not understand the exalted positions of the two lords. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, nice. So here it says, O King, seeing the fierce waves of the enemy's army, the two Madhavas, imitating human behavior, ran swiftly away. So Lord Krishna and Balram, in this pastimes, it's about Jarasandha and about Lord Krishna. Uddhava knew the Lord's heart. So Uddhava, Lord informed Lord Krishna that you visit Hastinapur, where where King Yudhishthira Maharaj will be performing a Rajasuya sacrifice. And in this sacrifice, he wanted to prove that the superiority of Lord Krishna, and invited all many demigods and great sages, and he had conquered all over the universe. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, Uddhava, knew the heart of Krishna, because he knew that Jarasandha can be only killed by Bhima. And Lord Krishna wanted to kill him all alone, because Krishna defeated Jasandha 17 times, and every time he was defeated, he came back with many armies. Jasandha was born in two parts. There was a king in Magda, Bihar, which is province. He had two wives, and they both didn't have beget any children. So a saintly person came to the kingdom, and they prayed for his benediction, and the sage gave them a fruit, and they ate this fruit divided in two parts. So the child born from both of the queens, they shared and took the fruit. They were born in two parts. And when there was a fight between Jarasandha and Bhima, because Jarasandha was very charitable to the Brahmanas. He used to respect the Brahmanas very much. So Jarasandha offered, he was very charitable. So only Bhima could defeat Jarasandha. Jarasandha was very strong, and it was said Jarasandha possessed the 10,000 elephant strength. And Krishna knew Jarasandha accepted Bhima, because the three of them, Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhima, they had gone in a disuse as Brahmanas, and they stayed in Jarasandha's palace. And the Kshatriya spirit is in day they are friends. They follow the Kshatriya spirit like that. They dine together, they are very friendly. And at night they fight among themselves. They fight, at day then they fight. But at night they are friends like that. So the fight was going on for many days, 18 days. And Bhima could not defeat Jarasandha. But Krishna knew that Lord Jarasandha was born in two parts. And because the king, seeing that the two parts, he had thrown them in a forest, and it was picked up by a witch named Jara. She used to eat a human being, but when by mistake she joined these two parts, they both became as he was born like Jarasandha, like that. So Krishna knew this. So when the fight was going with Bhima, with Jarasandha fought, and Krishna, they fought hand to hand, mace to mace, tree to tree. The fight was very valiant. And for 18 days it go on. Then Bhima was getting weak, and he told Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna took out a branch of twig and indicated that Jarasandha was born in two parts. So Bhima immediately took hold of his feet and tore it into two parts. In this way, Jarasandha was killed. So here he says, O king, seeing the fierce waves of the enemy's army, the two Madhavas imitating human behavior ran swiftly away. So Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, it says, Avajananti mamudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananta mam bhuta maheshwaram. Avajanti mamudha. Mudha, fools. The four types of people surrender to Krishna. The four types do not surrender to Krishna. The fools, Mudha, they are fools. The lowest of mankind, Naradhama, and atheist class of people, they do not surrender to Krishna. But here it says, Avajanti Mamuda. So there are many speakers on Bhagavad Gita. They want to take this Bhagavad Gita for their own purpose, and they give their own interpretations. There are many, and they misdirect the innocent people from the actual teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, such fools, rascals, they derive Krishna as an ordinary human being. So here, similarly, he says, O king, seeing the fierce wave of the enemy's army, the two Madhavas, imitating human behavior, ran swiftly away. Lord Krishna performed many wonderful pastimes when he was in earth. He had a friendly relationship. He had a relationship with his parents, Yashoda Maya. He had a relationship with the queens of Dwarka. And he had his childhood, he played mischief with his girlfriends. Like that, Krishna performed many this behavior like an ordinary human being. But it's not considered an ordinary being. They were very all transcendental. He says, that's why it says, Avajanti mamudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mam bhuta maheshwaram. Bhagavad Gita 9:11, the verse goes like that. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge belittle the personal Godhead Lord Krishna, not knowing him, his exalted position as the Lord of everything. So, poor fund of knowledge, they do not understand Krishna is the Supreme Personal Godhead. Even Jasanda is saying Purushotama, he is the lowest of mankind. But actually, Krishna is Purushottama, the topmost of all human beings. Purushottama, Purusha. That's Supreme Personality, Purushottama, Uttama, like that. But like in persons with a poor fund of knowledge belittle the personal God Lord Krishna, not knowing his exalted position as the Lord of everything. Krishna also in Brahma Samhita says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachid Ananda Vigra, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Even Brahma created this universe material. Before that also Lord Krishna was present before the creation, when Krishna directed Brahma to create this Krishna, to this universe. So Krishna is totally transcendental. It's not a material body like us. Yes. So here says, persons with a poor fund of knowledge belittle the personal Godhead Lord Krishna, not knowing his exalted position as the Lord of everything. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord has explained his position clearly, but the demonic, atheistic student squeezes out an interpretation to suit his own purpose and mislead unfortunate followers into the same mentality. He says, here, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord has explained his position clearly, but the demonic, atheistic student squeezes out an interpretation to suit his own purpose and mislead unfortunate followers into the same mentalities. So there are many speakers on Bhagavad Gita. They give their own interpretation. There are many scholars, many politicians, because they know Bhagavad Gita is a popular book. So they take Bhagavad Gita and they give their own interpretation for their own personal this. But Bhagavad Gita has to be understood a devotee. He says, Haro bhaktasya kuto madguna. One who is not a devotee of Krishna, he has no good qualification because he is riding on his mental platform. Haro bhaktasya kutot mahaguna. But one who is a devotee, he has all the good qualities because he is engaged in devotional service of the Lord. Apichet sudurucharo bhajate mam ananya bhava. Even if one is considered the most fallen, he will come to the stage where he fell down from his position. So devotional service is never goes vain. Like apichet sudurucharo. He says, even though one has fallen, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is properly situated. Avajanti mamudha. There you go. Apichet suducharo bhajate mam ananya bhava. It's like that. So Arava Bhaktasya. So pure devotee, he is not disturbed by all these things. He knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is not deviated by all this misdirection. Yeah, he says, so Supreme. So Lord is a Krishna also said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave his own example. Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtanya sadari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. He says, in all situations, one should chant the holy name of the Lord. In every situation is like that. Because this is the nature of the material world. There will be obstacles that, but a devotee is not concerned. A pure devotee, a very exalted devotee, is not concerned. He is just absorbed in glorifying Krishna. That says, Haro Bhaktasya, this is a human behavior. It's natural like that. Aro bhaktasya kuto maguna. He does not has any good quality. Even if one is most fallen, if he is a devotee, he is rightly situated. Aparamacha jiveshikaya. Apani achari jivere sukaya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Apani achari. Apani means by his own example, he should teach others. Teacher should behave himself properly, then he can teach others like that. Apani achari prabhu jiveri sikaya. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. By his own example, he thought that one should be more tolerant in the tree, divide up all false presence, should be ready to offer all his respects to others. Apani achari. By his own example, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught these principles of Krishna consciousness. Say, somebody is treating good or bad. I don't want to bother with. Let me become humbler like a grass, tolerant than a tree, and chant Hare Krishna. He says, somebody is treating good or bad. I don't want to bother about it. Let me become humbler than the grass, tolerant than the tree, and chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this Krishna consciousness is a very pure stage of life. Actually, it's a very topmost position like that. It says to become Krishna consciousness. But this process has been simplified in this age, the chanting of the holy name. So Lord Krishna performed wonderful pastimes in this when he was on this earth planet. Lord Krishna's gentle behavior before his so-called superiors, such as his father, grandfather, and elder brother. This amiable behavior with his so-called wives, friends, and contemporaries. This amiable behavior with him, so-called wife, friend, and contemporaries. So Lord Krishna performed wonderful pastimes. He was very gentle in his behavior, very kind, like that, very gentle. Srila Prabhupada also says, what is the qualification of a devotee? Devotee is a gentleman, actually. How you can judge a devotee like that? See, we can see in Lord Krishna also, before his superiors, when he went to Hastinapur, he met with many personalities. He met Yudhishthira Maharaj and all of the great personalities, Nakul, Sahadev, and so and so. And each one he treated according to their position. He gave respect to the superiors. He embraced some, and others bow down to before him. So Lord Krishna performed. He did a very like a menial servant. He carried Krishna, took the shoes and of the devotees, and like that he was washing their feet like that, according to their superior position like that. Krishna's gentle behavior before his so-called superiors, such as father, grandfather, and elder brother. This amiable behavior with his so-called wives, friends, and contemporaries. With his so-called wives, friends, and contemporaries. He behaved with his wives according to them, and friends and contemporaries. So this is wonderful. Such orphan could merely pick up some slogans from the great book of knowledge, but are unable to estimate the Lord as the supreme person of Godhead. Pure devotees, however, are never led by such atheistic opportunities. So here we see in this verse, Lord Krishna performed wonderful pastime. Here it says, the two Madhavas imitating human behavior ran swiftly away. So when Jasanta was chasing Lord Krishna and Balram, they saw that they wanted to save the Yadavas from the attack of both these Yavanas, from Kalyavan's army, and Jasanda's army. And so previous chapter we read that Muchkunda, he burnt Kalyavan to ashes. And now we see this Jasanda. Jasanda is following Krishna and Balram. And Krishna and Balram, they enter the mountain, they climb the mountain, and Jasanda is following them. And Jasanda is thinking that by fear he ran away. Like that, Krishna is performing human behavior. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So they burnt this mountain from all sides, and Krishna and Balram jumped from that mountain and escaped this fire. But Jasanda thought he's burnt in this fire, and he went back along with his army. So this is a beautiful pastime here. His behavior as a child, his mother Yashoda, naughty dealings with his young girlfriends, cannot be bewildered a pure devotee. Others who are not devotees are bewildered by such behavior. Similarly, in these pastimes, when Lord Krishna was on this planet, he was performing wonderful pastimes. They were thinking it may be considered as an ordinary persons. Many speakers on Bhagavad Gita, they think Krishna to be an ordinary human being. Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead, yes, like that. So these are very nice pastimes. But a pure devotee is not bewildered by this. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajanto mam bhutameshwara. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge belittle the person of Godhead, Lord Krishna, not knowing his exalted position as the Lord of everything. So at present, the human civilization, we can see, is degrading as Kali Yuga is progressing. When we see some festivals, it's not a festival generally when they are Independence Day, and so people go all around with the parade, and people are lying on the street, very degraded situation like that. So it's a very not unfortunate situation like that. But actually, Krishna is not an ordinary human being. Like we cannot imitate Krishna like that. At present, the civilization is degrading very fast, and it is becoming animal-like. Yes, that actual religion, savai pumcho paro dharma yator bhakti radokshe. Every religion teaches love to God more or less. That is the only aim. So every religion we see that in whatever one follows one religion, because in human society there is a religion, otherwise it's just on animal platform. But the topmost religion is that savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:2. Every religion teaches how to love God more or less. Why more or less? That is the only aim. How to learn how to love God. But they are rejecting God. What to speak of love? What is God? This nonsense. I am God. God is dead. Finished. So this atheistic class of people, they don't have faith. And they have their own concoction. It says, the topmost religion is that savai pumsam paro dharmo yator bhaktir adokshaje. Every religion teaches how to love God more or less. Why more or less? That is the only aim. So any religion, it is teaching to love God. Because the love is within everybody. But that love is now covered by the modes of material nature. Our consciousness is polluted, contaminated by the material modes. But all this religion, they are teaching to love God. That is the only aim. How to love God. How to learn how to love God. How to learn how to love God. Krishna in the Brahma Samhita says, Premanjana chachurita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hidayeshu vilokayanti yam sham sundaram achintya guna surupam. The pure devotees, they anointed their love, their eyes with the ointment of love for God. Premanjana chachurita bhakti vilochanena santa. Similarly, it says, every religion teaches how to love God more or less. That is the only aim. How to learn how to love God. but they are rejecting God. What to speak of love? What is God? This nonsense God. So that means what? This present moment, the whole human society has become animal, Srila Prabhupada. That's all. Their behavior is also like animal. Behavior is also like animal. And gradually in this age, people will become more and more animalistic. He says people will become more and more. This seems little harsh if we speak on this like that. This means at the present the whole human society become animal, that's all. Their behavior also like animal. Prabhupada says that every religion teaches love of God actually. So that is the highest, this top of religion, it says, which teaches us to love God. And that is the only aim, how to love God, how to learn how to love God. So from Bhagavad Gita we can learn, from Bhagavatam we can learn, from this wonderful pastimes of Lord. Every verse has very deep meanings and very detailed explanation. How, like we heard about Muchkunda, how he was a king and he was thinking his position like he very low, like he was, though he was born in a very high family. He was giving many examples how time is very powerful, time is the representation of Krishna, and as a king he was very falsely proud of this body. He had so much soldiers, names, fame, and everything, and but everything is compared is useless. Like, because when time came and when he entered his wife king palace, he was considered, he was very tiny. Like he was submitting like that. So these different examples are given. Like similarly, it says we have to learn how to love. In this chapter, it says the fierce waves of the enemy are the two mothers imitating him ran swiftly away. Krishna is performing his wonderful pastimes, but he's acting like an ordinary human being, but it's not an ordinary human being. It's totally transcendental. So Srila Prabhupada says here, Savai Pumso Paro Dharma Yato Bhakti Adukshuje. Every religion teaches how to love God more or less. Why more or less? That is the only aim. How to learn how to love God. How to learn how to love God. But they are rejecting God. What to speak of love? God, this is God, this is God, God is dead. So this means at the present moment, the whole human society has become animal, that's all. Their behavior is also like animal. Behavior is also like animal. So what's the difference between human being and animal? They also eat, we also eat. They also sleep, we also sleep. We also defend, they also defend. We also gratify sense, they also gratify sense. So what's the difference between human life? In human life, we can know God. Human life, we can develop our love for God. Human life, we can elevate our consciousness. Human life, we can degrade our consciousness. So the whole media, everything is bombarding for sense gratification, which is available in all species of life. So he says, so this means at the present moment, the whole human society has become animal. That's all. Their behavior is also like animal. Behavior is also like animal. And gradually in this age, people will become more and more animalistic. And they like to become animal. They say that we are going to nature to remain naked without any polished behavior. Lie down just like cats and dogs. Lie down on the street. I will lie down. They are thinking this is ideal. Yes, I never seen like these things like before in my life. But it says here, like cats and dogs lie down on the street, I will lie down. They are thinking this is ideal. So this material civilization, we can see slowly, slowly, young generation especially, how slowly they are lying on the street and doing all sort of nonsense. You see in this. So just see that so much expenditure on education, university, fathers, mothers care, still care, but they are becoming cats and dogs. Actually, there are many big universities, many hospitals. Why there is hospital, big hospitals? Because people become disease. If people lead a pure life, there's no need of big hospitals. If there are big universities, what is the outcome of that university? What type of people? What is the outcome of that big universities? The children, they don't have any. Respect to the elders, or they don't know general etiquette also, how to behave. People ignore one another, it's very painful. Like people are just working hard. Like, many things are there. Like see that so much expenditure on education, university, father, mother's care, still care, but they are becoming cats and dogs. Yeah, now it's present. There's no respect to elders. There's no this young generation. They don't care. They totally ignore. They're carried away by this modern education like that, becoming so much materialistic. See, so much expert on education. You will see. Previous it was like that. We were taught like that, parents, that you should respect elderly people. You should give respect to elderly people. You would offer. Even we can see in this pastimes of Lord Krishna, um, Krishna is behaving each one according to that superior power and this superiority. Here it says, so my expend on education, university, fathers, mothers care, still care, but they are becoming cats and dogs, and they are taking it as advancement. Dharma, artha. Artha means economic development. It should be based on dharma, and kama means Sanskrit again, and last moksha. So dharma, artha, kama is required. You need to perform religious activities. Artha means you need economic development, and kama means sensory. So eating, sleeping, sensory required, but one has to control it. It's like that. But the whole aim is how to get out of this. The whole aim is liberation. We are conditioned by this material nature. We have got this material body. Therefore, our aim should be how to be liberated from this contamination. It says here, the whole aim is liberation. We are conditioned by this material nature. We are conditioned by this material nature. We have got this material body. Therefore, our aim should be how to become liberated from this contamination. Our aim should be how to become liberated from this contamination. So anybody who has this body, he is falsely proud, like become bewildered by the external body. What is this body? Flesh, whatever color it is, brown, white, black, whatever. But actually inside everything is very abominable. But we become bewildered by this external, this body. But it's a big illusion like that. We have, like we heard from previous chapter about Muchkundai, he is saying this whole world everybody is attracted between male and female, and that's cause of miseries, sense and gratification will be the cause. We have got, therefore our aim should be how to become liberated from this contamination, accepting birth after birth material body. This is the need of human. The animals cannot know that there is a thing like liberation. So there's not only one birth, we take many births according to, that's why 8,004,000 species of life, 400,000 species. There are 400,000 species of human life. The human being also says that after finishing this body, everything fits. That is, no, this is animism. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. There are different types of moksha. The Maya, they think moksha means to merge into the effulgence of Krishna, Brahma Jyoti. That is also accepted merging, but that kind of moksha is not accepted by Vaishnava. So there are impersonalists, there is Vaishnava. The impersonalists, they say we can merge in the effulgence of the Lord. But the Vaishnava says it's not like that. But that kind of moksha is not accepted by, because to merge into the full person Godhead, Supreme Person God, may be liberation from this material world, but that does not mean actual liberation. Less like if you, from darkness, if you come to the sunlight, it is light of course, but sunshine or sunlight, if you go with your airplane, now shall live in the sunshine or sunlight and travel for millions of years. You cannot travel millions of years. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days or 4 days. Then you will come back again. It says, like if you from darkness of night, you come to the sunlight. It is light, of course. So from darkness you come to the sunlight. It is light. But sunshine or sunlight, if you go with your airplane, sunshine or sunlight, if you go with your aeroplane, now I shall live in the sunshine or sunlight and travel for millions years. You cannot travel millions of years. 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, or 4 days. Then you come back again. If you can approach the sun planet, there is stay. Otherwise, you have to come back. Similarly, those who are taking shelter of the grace of Krishna, they will have to come back. Many big sannyasis, they have come back again to these material activities. So this Mayavadis, the example is given of sunlight. You cannot stay there. Even if you travel millions of years, you have to come back again. So they may go to up to the liberation position, but they have to come back, he says. It's called Sayuja. So moksha, Sayuja is called Sayuja moksha. Sarupya, there's different types of liberation. There is Sayujya, merging, Sarupya. Sarupya means form like the Lord. Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya. 5 kinds. For the Vaishnava, this much rejected. They accept the other 4 kinds. Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya. Means to possess equal opulence with Lord. As Krishna is full in 6 kinds of, one can become almost as opulent as Krishna, not as Krishna as Vishnu. One can never take the position of God, in other words, That is called Sati. One can have exactly the same body feature of Vishnu, 4 hands. That is called Sarupya. Salokya, you can live in the same planet Vishnu is lying. And Narayana is living, or Krishna is living Salokya. So different types of liberation is this. The 4 is accepted by the Vaishnavas. To have, it says, as opulence as Krishna, not as Krishna. That is one can equal like same body feature as Vishnu, 4-handed like form. Then Sarupya, that is called. And Salokya, you can live on that same planet where Vishnu is living. And Narayana is living or Krishna is living. But a pure devotee does not accept even all this liberation. They don't ask for liberation. Pure devotee is satisfied only with the service of the Lord. That is pure devotion. But there is no desire. So one should pray to the Lord to, because Jivere Swarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das, can I have some service for the Lord? Always. There's a devotee's prayers like that. He says, where a pure devotee does not accept even all this liberation, they don't ask for liberation. We can see in the pastimes of Muchkunda, he was constantly praying to the Lord. Then he got the glimpse of the Lord in next life, Muchkunda, when he became as. And then he was delivered. Muchkunda was always praying to the Lord for. So he got the gift. But a pure devotee does not even, they don't ask for it. Pure devotee satisfies only with the service of the Lord. That is pure devotion. Because there is no desire. That is, Ahetuki apritya. Oh, I am engaged in Krishna consciousness. Because after death I shall go back home, back to Godhead. Of course, that's a fact. But a pure devotee even does not desire that. So pure devotee does not desire that go back to Godhead. He knows that but he does not desire that also. He says, wherever Krishna will keep me, I shall remain there. It doesn't matter whether heaven or hell. I don't care if Narayana para sarve na kutoshana bibyati. Narayana para sarve na kutashana bibyati. Actually, one who is Narayana para, pure Krishna conscious devotee of the Lord, he is not afraid going to hell or being promoted to heaven. For him, everything is all right. He says, actually one is Narayanapana, pure Krishna conscious devotee of the Lord. He is not afraid of going to hell or being promoted to heaven. Narayana para sarve na kutoshana bibyati swa apavarga narakeshu apitulyat darshana. For heaven or hell, it doesn't matter. That is pure devotion. Anya abhilashita sunya. Without any, that is also that I am going back home, back to God. But that desire is very highly qualified desire. But a pure devotee does not desire even that. Anya abhilashita sunyam. He says, for heaven or hell, it doesn't matter. That is pure devotion. Without any, that is also, I am going back home to God. But that desire is very highly qualified. But a pure devotee does not desire even that. Go home, back to God, he says. They do not even desire to go back to God. What to desire? They simply want, let me remain wherever Krishna desires. I may be engaged in service. So this devotional service cannot be checked. It's a very exalted position. It's very, there is nothing in the material world which can check one's devotional. It's so pure and exalted. If you be saying, yeah, Atmasvari, immediately you become happy. So this is when we stage it and actually devote service, we become happy. Actually, when we dance, we become happy. When we chant, we become happy. When we chant, we become happy means we dance like that. So he says, there is nothing. Yeah. There is nothing in the material world which can check one's devotion. It is so pure and exalted. If you're situated in such kind of devotional service, Atma Supra, immediately you become happy. See, there is nothing in the material world which can check one's devotional service. It is so pure and exalted. Ahetukya prita. And if you be situated in such kind of devotional service, Yayatma Suprati, immediately you become happy. That is the standard of happiness we are seeking. I may be happy in this way, I may be happy in that way. No, you can simply become happy when you are pure devotee of the Lord, without any reason. Pure devotee, ahetuki aprita yatma supraditi. So Krishna bhulya jeev bhoga vancha kare. Forgetting Krishna, one wants to enjoy this material world. And Maya kicks in. Because here in this material world, everybody is thinking, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, Right. Yeah, but actually Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this beautiful pastimes of Jarsanda, Lord Krishna, because Krishna is there, so this pastime becomes wonderful. Krishna killed Jarsanda, Bhima killed Jarsanda. Very nice. I will just go through Jasanda's. Yeah, so there are different types of cleanliness. There is external cleanliness and internal cleanliness. Like previous, the yogis, they used to clean their intestine. They take out it and clean it. So one has to very careful in what he is eating. Because if that intestines are not clean like that, then there will be appendix. So when there is appendix, means because the digestion is not proper. The doctors, they do an operation. They remove the intestine like that. They remove the intestine like that actually. So one should be regulated. So there are different types of cleanliness. There's external cleanliness and internal cleanliness. So when our all activities based on this body, mind, and words. So if, like in the Bengali, there's a saying like, if the mind and the belly is good, then he can be very peaceful like that. So these things are important in our spiritual life too. Because all man activities is based on these three things: body, mind, and words. These things. Body, mind, words. Yeah, just so there's internal cleanliness, there is external cleanliness. External cleanliness, you keep your surroundings clean and take nice bath. But there's internal cleanliness. There's internal cleanliness of our mind, our intelligence, words, act like that. Body, mind, and activities. Body, mind, three types of. Yeah. So this beautiful, like the yogis, I said, they were different types of yogas are there. The yogis, they used to clean their intestine. They used to take out their intestine and clean. You can imagine that yoga, what it is. In like modern education, the digestion intestine, they cut it off because the digestion is not proper, and that is called appendix like that. So because our three activities are based on this body, mind, and word sections. So yeah, you say we'll read some from Jasanda. Very nice. Jasanda. So Jasanda said, it will be a great dishonor for me to fight with boys like Krishna and Balram. Because Krishna had killed Kamsa, Jasanda specially addressed him the killer of his own relatives. So in this beginning, Asti and Prapti, they approached Jasanda. They were wives of Kamsa. Kamsa was killed by Lord Krishna. So generally, it says like there are different stages of life. A woman is always protected. In childhood, parents take care. When grown up, her husband takes care, and old age, children take care. So nature's arrangement is always secure, always protected. But in this case, Asti and Prapti, they were Kamsa's wives, so they had no elder children, son. So they had to go to their father Jasanda. And when Jasanda heard the news that this Krishna had killed Kamsa, he became very furious and he took a oath that he will destroy the Yadavas from this earthly planet. So Lord Krishna, Bhima, Arjuna and Krishna, they came as a discussed in the palace of Jasanda. And Jasanda was very charitable to the Brahmanas. I would like to stop here. Any comments, any questions? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
for
Prabhu.
the class and so much knowledge. One thing I'd like to share is how Prabhupada said Krishna is the whole of existence. And I was wondering if you have any thoughts about that. Like, we think, well, let's say, before seeing this statement of Prabhupada about Krishna being the whole of existence, I had a different conception of Krishna. But now I think of Krishna as the whole of existence, both formless and the form of the whole of existence being Shama Sundar, which is, endless and also having form. I was wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
Yes, Krishna is the source of everything, both material and spiritual. In this material world, whatever we see, earth, water, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. So this material components they are. Whatever we see, they are the energy of Krishna. So there is internal energy, there's external energy, and there's superior energy. So everything comes from Krishna. Nothing is matter, everything is Krishna's potency. In other words, Krishna is the source of all creation. In Brahma Samhita it says, Krishna is the source of all, I am the source of everything. Everything comes from me, everything emanates from me. Krishna, from Krishna's navel, Brahma came, and Brahma created this creation. So before creation also, there was Lord. Means ultimate source is Lord, either material or spiritual. But when we say Krishna is the existence of everything, Krishna is the source of everything. So we have to accept the teachings of all the great acharyas, of the great scriptures. They say Krishna is the Supreme Lord. They have accepted and we have to accept it. It's like that. But if we go in detail in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we can know in deep like that. Now, it's vast very. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachid Ananda Vigra Anadir Adir Govinda Anadir Adir Govinda Anadir Adir Govinda. If you want to know knowledge, knowledge has a beginning. So we go from where it begins. There's no end of that knowledge. So, Anadir Adir Govinda. Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva Karana. Sarva means the source of everything. Everything emanates from the Lord. Everything comes from the Lord. Source is Krishna. Krishna also says, Sarva dharman parityagam mam ekam sharanam. Just surrender unto me. I'll free you from all. I'm the source of everything. So it says, Bahunam janmante jnanavan mam prapajante vasudeve sarvamiti sahamatma sudurlabha. So a pure devotee sees Krishna in everything. Everything is Krishna's energy. He has that vision to see that. Because he is properly situated in devotional service. Anybody else to add, like Mata or Prabhu? And say, can say Mata, you're senior to us. Hare Krishna, you're. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I have. So some. You want to say something? You can say. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
You asked, so the light coming from this here is coming from Krishna's body, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Krishna is also situated in
As
here,
super
right?
soul, yeah.
And Krishna is also standing there also, right?
Correct.
And we also emanate from this
Correct.
one being. And Achinta Beta Beta Tattva simultaneously one and different. So when we think of this individuals, the soul, the one thing I thought about was this. Okay, imagine your father, right? He says to you, son, whatever you do, do not smoke.
Sorry?
He says, son, whatever you do, do not smoke. And then he takes a puff off the cigarette, right? And he blows like this, right? Whatever you do, do not smoke, right? Right?
Don't smoke in front of Lord.
So, huh?
Nothing. Yeah,
No, I'm saying, so Krishna's, Lord Chaitanya says, do not think of women even in dreams. Do not think of women even in dreams. And then he comes as the Panchatattva and marries twice, and complete Panchatattva are all in householder life. So what is I think I have a thought about it, or what can you say about that?
I didn't get the exact question, what you mean, like Krishna.
It's like it's like in a way the father is saying, do not smoke, do not think of women even in dreams. But he marries twice, and also the complete Panchatattva is all married. But then he says, do not think of women even in dreams. So it's like a father saying,
okay, I got
do not smoke. You know, that's just a thought.
So there are many do's and do nots like that. Don't do this, don't do that. But when you say that Lord Krishna also got married, or when Lord Krishna came as Mahaprabhu, he came as Panchatattva, and you don't think of opposites, objects, sense objects. This is a teaching for us conditioned souls. It's not Krishna is contaminated by this mundane, this. Krishna is supreme pure. We are not pure. We have got a material body according to our desire. Our conscience is not pure. We are contaminated by the material modes of nature. So when we are under the material contamination, we act impure. So we generally conditioned soul doesn't know anything other than sense gratification. So it's a teaching for us. Do this, do not do this, follow this regulation, come to the stage of goodness, come to pure Krishna consciousness, remain Krishna consciousness. Don't consider Krishna's body like our body. Krishna's body is eternal knowledge and blissful. He does not have a mundane body like us. Don't take it on our platform that Krishna's Archa Vigraha is not different from Krishna, but we don't have the vision to see that Krishna because we have eyes of skin, flesh. We see through a mundane conception. Yes.
Definitely. Definitely agree. But it seems like this is just a thought. I don't have an answer for it, whatever. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, when he came, his example, or his achar, his example was, he never married in Nashtika.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada married, had children.
Correct.
So, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. It's just, it's hard to see, here's Nitya Siddha progenitor, here's Bhakti. It just seems like for conditioned souls, God would come more as like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, like, kids, get out of here. Do not do these things. Do not touch. Do not do anything. All of you, I am the mother and father of all of you all. Do not engage in these activities. I am God. Do not do these things. Watch me. I'm not going to do it. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And I'm not saying I don't understand these things, but it just seems like, but Krishna comes and the first thing he does is make sure that all his brothers and sisters are killed and born in jail and, so many things. So, of course, for the Lord's pleasure, but there's those thoughts of, it's just really hard for conditioned souls to fathom, he's not just some guy with a bunch of ladies, it's hard to see that. And it seems like only mercy of Guru can help you open the eyes to see, like, wow, Krishna is really like something you should connect with,
Yes, that's why it says Premanjana Chachurita Bhakti Vilochanena. Prem, ointment of law. Premanjana, ointment of law, love. Premanjana Chachurita Bhakti, both love and devotion. Then we can see pursue things. Like Prabhupada says, when an ordinary car becomes spoiled, you need a mechanic because he has that knowledge of that particular thing. Similarly, Guru is the representative of Krishna. It's tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya opagdekshanti jnanas jnaninas tattvadarshina. Approach a self-realized soul and very elevated personally and surrender unto him and inquire from him. So when the disciple is very inquisitive, then he reveals the knowledge to him. He's not very inquisitive to know about the absolute. He does not reveal to him like that. One has to become qualified like that. So by our own endeavor we cannot. It's only by the mercy of the Lord and his pure representative we can know about God. Like before coming to Krishna consciousness, we did not know anything about the scriptures, anything or philosophy, all these things. We may know here and there, but coming slowly we are learning many things like that, but it's so far off. To learn the scriptures, it will take a lifetime. We don't have the time and energy. So that's why in this Kali Yuga we have the holy name of the Lord, which is our shelter, Kali. But we have to have that strong determination to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra constantly. Then we can understand our position. We are very far away from devotional service. I am not, even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I don't have a tinge of devotion. Even the great acharyas says, my life is full of sin. I have no good qualification. In all my activities, I am engaged in sinful activities by body, words, and actions. So this is totally above the modes, like passion, ignorance, goodness. Forget about pure goodness. It's very far, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We are sadhana bhakta. We are practicing Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrind ki jai, all glories to assembled duty, all glories to assembled. See.